how are you doing? My name is Joseph Googie, one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. This is take two. We had an initial try on this, so we're going in one more time. Tonight we have a special guest, Edem, who is one of our accepted system alumnus. The first time we tried this live stream, my audio wasn't working, so let's see if it works this time. And then it's Edem. We have some pretty cool story. Can you hear me, Edem?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, we got it fixed. Let's go.
Yes, we did.
Savannah says we're good. Oh, look at that. All right, perfect. So we're solid. I would much rather them be able to hear your story, Edem, and not have any audio lag or anything, mess it up. We have May, we have Aya, we have a solid crew. So I'm excited.
Hello.
I'm excited. How you feeling?
Good. How are you?
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm glad it works. All right. So tonight, Edem and I had a conversation about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yo, Edem, after what we talked about, I was like, you need to share your story. Mm-hmm. You need to share. Like we'll come on the pre-doc page, which is here, of course. We'll come into the page. I'll just kind of throw it at you. You just tell us what you're going through. 2018 has been quite the year for you, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Sure has. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Say that again?
Say it louder for the people in the back.
That's what I'm saying. It's been quite the year. It's been quite the year. It's had a lot of good. We've had some tough moments as well. But it's ended up pretty well for you.
Yeah.
But I won't jump ahead of myself too much. Give the people a little bit of an introduction about who you are. Obviously, we know your name, but where do you currently live? Where do you come from? And then also, why physical therapy in the first place? Because we want context for what we're going to share today, for what they're going to understand about your story. Like, we want them to understand the reason behind everything. But once they understand that, then we're good to go. And if you're live, let us know that you're on. Say hashtag Team Live. If you're watching this after the fact, also let us know by saying hashtag Team Replay. We have Emily, we have Robin, and a lot of other winners. What's up, Edward? How you doing? Edem, it is your time to shine. Tell us a little about yourself. Why physical therapy? Before we dive in.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Edem. I currently live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I just graduated in April with my undergrad degree in health sciences from the University of Cincinnati. And right now I'm working as a tech. Yes, come on, as a tech at a hospital. So just my YPT. So it's really a feeling, when I was shadowing all these other majors or all these other career choices, there was just something missing and I could never pick out what it was. Like I shadowed nurses, I shadowed physicians, I shadowed physician assistants, and there was just something that wasn't sitting right. It just didn't feel right. So when I shadowed a PT, one of the things that I initially noticed was the bonds that they had with their patients. Like they were talking about things that happened in their lives, outside of PT, and then bringing that in. So it just felt like these physical therapists are learning so much more about their patients than just the ailments that they're presenting with. They're learning their goals. They're learning what they're passionate about, what motivates them. And that's ultimately what makes the patients reaching their goals mean so much more when you can put yourself in their shoes and you're like, man, you just did this, something you thought you couldn't do. You just did it. You just feel that on that level. And to me, that's fulfilling. To me, that's what I can imagine myself doing, just being able to be there with my patients through every stage of their recovery and ultimately empower them to take their life back from whatever traumatic experience happened to them, whether it's from playing sports or whether it's from an unexplained or unexpected life event. It's just you're there with them, and that's what was missing. And you get to take them from the beginning and get them to the end and then send them on their way, and that's just the best feeling to me.
Yeah. And so you fell in love with physical therapy. And I think for a lot of us as pre-PTs, there's a bit of that. We're drawn to it for different reasons. And some, it's something more of it's a personal situation.
Right.
Donette was here
right.
a few weeks ago. What's up, F. Scott? How you doing? What's up, Kyle? Great to see all of you. Honestly, like in her story, like part of it was that, but the other part was also her own personal experience. And so we all have like a story that led us to PT. But the honest truth is, how you doing, Mackenzie? Like the honest truth is though, on our journey, like it's that's where it differs. It differs when we start now attacking this whole let's get into PT school story. And so we all have different like backgrounds. Some are finishing like graduate degrees before they apply. Others are not. Others are going to college. And so for you, like where did it merge together? Because you graduated in April. Like what happened next? Like was it your first time applying, second time applying? Like what led you to like start this? Like how were you in like February, March, April of this year as you were finishing up, getting ready for your application cycle?
Yeah. So I think, I mean, just a little bit of backstory. So it took me 5 years to graduate from undergrad. So I'm not the traditional 4-year student because I started off in nursing and then I was like, nah. So then I switched to PA and then I was like, nah. And then I found PT. So for me, like, especially my first 2 years, because I didn't have my why and I didn't have my purpose, I wasn't doing well in my classes. So especially the core classes that you need even now to apply to PT school, like I wasn't doing well in those classes. But once I found my why and once I decided to do PT, my grades just got better, like instantly, because I was able to start applying like, oh, I need to know this stuff because I'm going to have to use this as a PT. So let me get my life together and start studying some more. So I just had that. One thing that I struggled with throughout my process was my GPA. So I applied last year, so like the end of my junior year before my senior year. And I was asking people where they were going to apply to and what things that they were looking into when they were applying. And like, yeah, people said like cost, but for real, people didn't really know. Like, they're just like, I'll probably just stay in Ohio because it's cheap. Like, there was just no real guidance or anything. So I started to go to my advisors, and I had 2 advisors at my college. So we had like a pre-professional advisor and then an academic advisor. And I like shared with them like my, I said, let's look at my grades and let's see where I can apply, because is that going to be a huge factor into where I apply? Like, I was so lost. I had no idea. And a lot of my advisors said like, yeah, it does, the schools are going to see that you didn't do your best your first 2 years, but they're going to see that you did outstanding your last 3 years. And that's what they're going to factor in. And that's what they're going to look at. So you'll be cool. And plus, like, they were saying how my how my math and science GPA was like, it wasn't like the best, but it was at least the minimum. And so really I was thinking like, okay, I'm good. Like I'm about to apply. Like, and I was asking,
it's in the bag.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good. And so I was asking my friends if they were going on college visits and all this stuff. And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, I guess I don't need to either. Like, they were just doing all this stuff, or they weren't doing all this stuff. Like, they were just like, just applying wherever. And so I was like, all right, I guess like my advisors say I'm cool, kind of. My friends, whatever. Like everyone, like nobody's talking about any of the possible things that could happen. Everyone's just saying like, you'll probably get in. And so I really was just, one other thing that my advisors told me was just like take ownership of your GPA, like of the 2 years where you did poor, and how, them schools seeing that you took ownership will help you like stand out and help you look better. So I was like, easy, got it. Like, I took ownership of that 3 years ago. Like, it's cool. So I was really just going with the flow with it all. So then senior year hit, and I was starting to hear no's from school and starting to get waitlisted, and my friends were starting to get interviews. So I started to panic, and I was like, wait, oh crap, like, was there something I was supposed to be doing that I wasn't doing? Because, like, I just had no idea. And so I went back to those advisors, and I was like, I'm getting some no's from schools, and I'm also getting waitlisted, and I'm not really understanding why. I reached out to the schools, and they're talking about my GPA, but that's what we were prepared for. That's what we had our speech down for, like, if they were to ask me about that. And so I just, like, I don't understand, like, why I'm not getting in or anything like that. And they really didn't have any answers for me that they didn't say before. And so I just, like, had to make a decision. And I was like, okay, well, I'm still waiting for a couple of schools, because at the time I applied to like 5 to 7 schools, and I'm like, I've only heard from like 3 schools that I wasn't getting in. So there's still hope, but let me try to also find a job just in case like it doesn't go well. Like that's what people are doing. It's senior year. They're either going and getting a job, or they're advancing their career, right? Or like they're schooling.
Yeah.
So I went back to my advisors. Lord knows why, because these people. So I went back to my advisors, and
I tell you every time, madam.
And I sent them my CV, and I was like, okay, I'm still waiting on schools, but while I'm waiting for schools, where do you think that I can get a job that if I didn't get into PT schools, it would still look good? Or where do you think I can get a job that I can at least use my bachelor's degree or be in some sort of health science? Like, I feel like I was asking good questions, and for some reason, instead of like answering my questions, they were just asking, well, have you ever thought of another career choice? And I was like, where is this? Right. Where is this coming from? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what I scheduled this meeting for. Like, you know? And so that was soul crushing a little bit, because it felt like they were saying, like, honey, you're not getting in. Like, you need to think of a different choice. So I said, okay, I'm going to somebody else. Somebody else is going to have an answer for me. So
It's
I started
like,
to reach out. Huh?
Next.
Right. So I reached out to some of my professors and some of my mentors, and I sent them my CV as well. And I explained my story to them. Like, I'm still waiting for schools, but I just want to be able to have some type of backup plan in case I don't get it in this cycle that will make me look good for next cycle. And some professors tried to help, but they weren't really able to secure any type of job for me. So I went to a PT that was that I shadowed, and I sent her my CV, and I was like, hey, this is my situation. Do you know if you guys are hiring any techs or anything like that? And her first response back to me was, well, have you thought of another career choice? And I was just like,
nope.
It was like really hard though, because, you know, I'm hearing no's from school. My best friends and people that I love around me are getting accepted into programs or getting interviews. And I have advisors and somebody I look up to telling me to change my career. And the thing was, the first career everybody told me to change to was nursing. And I was like, why? Like,
well,
why?
I mean, like, let's be real though. And I actually had you and I have talked about this extensively. I know I spoke with 2 people about this today. Two of the accepted system students, but like, it's so common because I think we have to respect what it is. So I think it's easy to look at it and be like, well, they're just trying to mislead me or misguide me. Well, let's kind of break it down a little bit. One, they don't really have the same passion for physical therapy that you do. Right. And I had this conversation before, because, you know, he didn't get accepted for. So it's have you thought about something else? We're getting this from our family members. We're getting this from, like, PT school advisors, which you already know how I feel about PT school. That's the old school way of getting in. There's a complete new, but you know, that's neither here nor there. There's also friends that are like, hey, I mean, like, but also websites. We're looking at school websites. We're looking on Google. We're seeing what the GPA is to get accepted into PT school. We're seeing, like, we're inside of the pre-doctor physical therapy students page. We're like, yo, people are getting it with a 3.5, with a 3.6, with a 3.4. And we're like, yo, like, we don't match up with that. So sometimes we tell ourselves, maybe I should pick another career path. And the honest truth is, like, it's one of the most damaging statements to any pre-PT. Because what it does is one, it's forcing you to doubt yourself.
Exactly.
Number 2, it's telling you that regardless of how you feel about what you want to do for the rest of your life, regardless of how much passion you have for it, well, if it's not cut out for you, it's not cut out for you. It's also telling you that it doesn't matter how much hard work you put into it, the mistakes that you made in the past, whether it's GPA, whether it's classes, well, those are always going to fall, which is a load of crap.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
oh my gosh.
After that, and it's so frequent. Out of the people that are live right now, who has been told? I want you to comment. Just comment me. If you have been told by somebody on your journey, whether it's yourself telling yourself, whether it's a family member, whether it's a PT school advisor, has told you you should think about another career. Watch how common this is, Edem. Watch how common this is. Watch. You'll see the comments. Like, if you have been told, if I was able to comment, I'd comment me. Right?
If I could, I would too.
Like, I would comment me. Shoot, I should probably like open up another device and just like start commenting. But you have been told by somebody else, like regardless of whether it's for GPA or timing or a rejection, because Edem just told y'all she got rejected the first time she applied before. Mm-hmm. She got, what's up, Andrew? How you doing, bro? Like she got rejected, which means that like it was easy for someone that did not feel how she felt about it. It was easy for someone that was not as passionate about it to say, yo, pick something else.
Right.
Yo, why they're doing it? The reason why they're doing it is one, well, we got family members that want to see the best for us. And
exactly.
I know it's for my parents especially, and I know it's for your family as well. You already know, we come from the continent. Mm-hmm. We come from Africa.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. Joseph is my brother.
Yo, all day. But honestly, like our parents like want to see the best for us, and I'm sure a lot of your families do too. And for them, success is you achieving something. They don't care what it is. They don't care if I am the #1 janitor at like Family Dollar. They just want me to achieve something. They want to be able to say, yo, my son did it. They want me to say, oh, our daughter did it, right? And so if that means, yo, listen, PT didn't work the first time, have you tried nursing?
Right.
Nursing is your profession. Yo, if that doesn't work out, I mean, there's like athletic training. There are options, and they're not trying to harm you.
Right.
But understand what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're not intentionally trying to harm you, even though they're not intentionally trying to plant doubt, that's exactly what it does to you. It creates doubt. It creates frustration. I lost lots of sleep over it. I know you lost sleep over it. I know there's a lot of added pressure. Now you're like, oh, shoot, if I apply again, I don't get in. Like, what are they going to say then?
That's not an option.
That's 2 times. That's 2 times.
Right.
That's a year that I could have spent going into nursing if I listened to them.
Exactly, right.
So those things cause anxiety. So I wanted to make sure we highlighted that because that was a big part of your story. And so next, Edem.
So, I mean, unfortunately, I started to kind of listen to all those people and like let that self-doubt kind of get into me, just like in tears. And I just like went to my laptop and I looked at accelerated Bachelor's of Science and Nursing degree programs for like 5-10 minutes. And then I just like closed my laptop and I was like, heck no, like, no, like I've done this. Like I tried out nursing. This is not what I want to do. I know what I want to do and I'm going to figure it out. Like I'm going to have to figure it out. And so that's when I reached out to the accepted system, which at the time was Pre-PT Grind. And I just like poured my story out. I said, here's everything that's happened, help. And like, I mean, y'all
take care of me.
Yes, because I mean on your page I saw all these people who were getting in with low GPAs, or just saw all these different people who are having different challenges with their pre-PT journey and ultimately getting in. And I'm like, I need that. Like, tell me what the heck to do next, because I'm so lost and I feel like nobody is like helping me. Like nobody's telling me what to do. So like for real, y'all were the hope I needed and like the light at the end of the tunnel. Y'all were just like the guidance that I felt that I was missing and that I didn't have, you know? And so like, I mean, I think so one of the big things for me was my GPA, and my advisors like didn't tell me that, hey, there's some schools that'll look at your last 60 credits, or there's some schools that will take the higher grade if you retook any classes, or some schools only look at the lower, or some schools are going to take an average of both. Like those things are huge game changers that like my advisors just didn't say to me. Like we're looking at my undergrad GPA. That's in my undergrad, their math and science GPA, they're just taking the highest of my retaken classes. Like they're not factoring anything else. And so that's what I'm thinking schools are looking at when they are looking at my application, but they're looking at something completely different. And y'all were like, you need to go find these schools, find out the specific courses that they're taking. Here's a GPA calculator. Like, get your life together. Put all this together. Get your life together. And that's just like,
in those words,
get your life together. Like, for real. And, you know, y'all taught me about, like, how to stand out in interviews, and y'all taught me to go to these freaking campus visits and open houses and all this stuff, and just, like, to stand out and do everything that I can to make myself seen. And I just, you just gave me direction when I didn't have any, and I just needed that so bad. So truly, y'all were the guidance I was missing. So obviously I didn't get into school my first cycle, but it ended up being a blessing in disguise, honestly, because I ended up getting this job that I have now as a rehab tech in a sports med PT clinic in one of our major hospitals downtown. And it just completely continued. It's just like, I'm learning so much about the field, like so much more about the field. It's more than I could have learned from shadowing, because I'm literally immersed in PT 40 hours a week. So I'm seeing like so many different things that is that me? Sorry. I don't know if that was, I'm seeing completely different things that I didn't see before. And, you know, my gap year was something that I was so nervous about taking, but it's allowed me time to get my life together. Like, even though it's kind of like a short amount of time, if you really think about it, from when you have to start getting your life together after not getting in the first cycle and reapplying, it was still enough time for me to like reach out to schools and like just restart the process. And I also kind of had a leg up just because I had already went through the process. So I knew how to fill out PTCAS. I didn't have to do all that over again. So that was nice. So just being in the field is really nice. And yeah, I'm constantly learning, and it's, yeah, I don't know, just
no,
it allowed me.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So recently, so this cycle I applied and I did everything completely different than I did last cycle. Went to campus visits, went to open houses, contact faculty members, made sure my GRE was where it needed to be, like retook it twice if I needed, like, you know, just like made sure all my ducks were in a row and nothing was going to stop me from getting in. And so this cycle I did hear a no, and I did get waitlisted somewhere, but I applied to 5 schools total, and I had an interview for one. I have another one coming up, and I still have yet to hear about for one school. But for one of my interviews, I actually got accepted into a program. So it's like, thank the Lord, like it finally paid off.
I'm trying to find the text you sent me. Hold up, let me see.
Oh my gosh, crying.
Yo, this is what happens. This is on Tuesday, December 4th. Out here in the clinic, guys, I'm trying to take care of patients. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be a good physical therapist, but no, like when I get messages like, I lose my head. Donette, you remember how I felt when you sent me your message and you got accepted? Like, I lose my mind because we've been through such a long journey together. I was like,
oh my gosh, yes.
Like, she's like, no, like, it's just like all caps.
It's just caps.
No, it's not working.
But
it's like all caps. Like, this. Like, she sent me like a copy of the email that she got, accepting her into PT school. And I am literally like, all I said was like, yo, I just keep reading this over and over and over again, just to like remind myself that it's real. Like, Edem, you've been through so much to get to this point. And yeah, exactly. Like, you deserve every bit of it. You deserve every bit of it. The thing is, she's still interviewing, which means she might have options by the time she's done. So we're not
fingers crossed
where she got accepted. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
But the honest truth is,
for me.
But the honest truth is, oh, perfect. So the honest truth is really like just watching your journey from the point where you first where we first met. I know you know, like Andrew and all, but like from the moment we first met, because I remember our first conversation, we were just talking about like being African and like, oh, what? And then like, when we got serious, when we got serious, we're like, all right, okay, what's really going on? Like, what's good? And we just broke it out. We just said, all right, this is what we have to do to give you the best shot to get accepted. And so honestly, like, was I excited when you got accepted? Well, heck yeah. Like, who wouldn't be? Like, I lost my mind. But then I looked back at it and I was like, yo, she did everything right this year. She did everything right this year. For those of you that are even watching, you already know that right now we have a 10-day challenge. Like, this is like day 8. We're counting down from from 10 to 0. But this is day 8, so we have 8 days left of the 10-day challenge. And the top prize is a ticket to where I first met Edem in person. A ticket to PT Live. Like, this summer, she literally took her journey so seriously that she was like, y'all want me to do? I'm going to do it.
Listen, I wasn't playing.
She was not playing around. She was not playing around. So, like, when I saw that acceptance, I was like, all right, yeah, of course. Like, you literally, like, earned it. You earned it, every bit of it. She put herself around the top in the game. She took herself from Ohio, where she probably, like, handling the snow right now, Florida, where we got to meet her face to face. I got to meet her. Casey got to meet her. The rest of our accepted system team got to meet her. But she also got to put herself around a lot of other winners. And that for her was, like, I remember that click for me. Because you, like, pulled me aside. You're like, don't like you, like, telling me just what you were getting from being in that environment. From meeting literally the prime movers in the PT profession right now. We're there face to face. And we're literally going to give that trip away to somebody for free. I don't even know what they're doing if they're not playing. But
for real.
Tell us about that weekend real quick before we wrap it up. Like, I want them to understand, like, what it takes to be a next level PT school applicant, but not just to get into PT school, but to set yourself up to literally, honestly, be in the top 10% of PT earners by the time you're a physical therapist. How did you do that? Like, tell us about that weekend. Drop it for us, fam.
I mean, honestly, that weekend is absolutely insane. Like, at least for me, like, I felt like there was just, like, one way to do physical therapy. Like, you know, you're just going to go through school. You're just going to, like, follow the motions, follow the routine, and then you're going to be able to work. And, you know, mostly the fields that I was hearing was, like, you know, ortho, sports, neuro, like those, like the typical, like, fields to go into PT. Yeah, like, you know, peds, whatever. Like, but going to SSPT was just, like, it was honestly mind-blowing because there was so much that I learned that I didn't know about the field. And because I wasn't around people who were able to tell me anything else. Like, you know, I was just learning about, like, how you can actually have hobbies and how your hobbies can coexist with physical therapy, and how, like, that's insane to me. Like, I absolutely love musical theater and, like, dancing, singing, acting. And you're telling me that I can try to mingle all that together to, like, and be a physical therapist who does that or works with performers like that. Like, I just feel like nobody talks about those things. And so there's so much that you learn. I can't even just put it into, like, one sentence. Like, there's so much. Your mind is just blown, and you just have to go and experience it. And there's just a vibe. There's a vibe there. It's crazy. It's, like, it's so much fun, and but it's also, like, serious. It's, like, serious fun, but I don't even know. Like, y'all just have to go and experience and then talk to me about it, and you'll just get it. Like, you'll just get it when you go.
You're going to be there in person anyway, so they can talk to you about it there, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Let's meet up on the beach and talk about it.
Let's go grab something to drink, go on the beach, do what you got to do. But honestly, Edem,
exactly.
Like, and Carl and Don right now, like, Edem, right now, they, like, literally, like, we've never even done this, and I don't think people understand what we're trying to do right now. Like, they just don't get it. Like, literally, like, because we know, like, that event is literally what changed my life in terms of physical therapy. That's, like, if we were to go back and say, like, one event that literally made pre-PT grind what it is today, it's that event in terms of what I do as a professional. But for you, lock yourself in with the best in the game right now, leading up to your acceptance into PT school right now, like for a pre-PT right now that just doesn't understand. Like, they're just like, yeah, I get it. Y'all are paying for like, think about how ridiculous this sounds. Y'all are paying for like a flight. Y'all are paying for a hotel. Y'all are paying for me to go to a conference that's literally like the best conference in PT right now. Y'all are paying for me to go to Florida, literally getting like a 3-day vacation, all expenses paid. So what? Like, I mean, it already sounds silly when I say it like that. But for somebody that's like, literally, we got 8 days left. 8 days left, Edem. And all we're saying is, like, yo, there's 4 things. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go to the video at the top of this page, and it'll explain what it's about. But they're like, they don't get it. Like, they're like, if they understood what was at stake, like, I would literally be making it like my side hustle to just find people.
Oh my god!
Because it's like, what? So okay, for you, like, tell them, like, from your perspective, what do they need to hear to lock in? Because this challenge is going to leave somebody real happy. And if they really want it, like, why should they even want to be there, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, even if you're going as a pre-PT, like, I had countless people tell me when I was there who are PTs now, and like, you know, some of them are burnt out or something like that, so they're trying to figure out how to like make their situation better because they love PT, but they're just not doing what they love right now. And so many of those people came up to me and they were like, man, I wish when I was in your shoes, I wish I went to this event, because it's a game changer for real. Like, you're leveling yourself up before you even need to be leveled up. Like, so it's just like you're preparing yourself in the best way possible to be different from your classmates when you're in PT school and when you're out of PT school, because everyone's going to have the same mindset. The people who don't go to this conference are going to have the same mindset. They're going to think like, oh, we're just going to go with the flow. We're just going to, you know, do what everybody else is doing. And as y'all can see, if you go with the flow like I did, you will not get into PT school. So, so you really need to figure out what you can do to stand out in every possible way, like even when it comes to like getting a job later, when it comes to being in PT school, all that stuff. And the only way you can do that is by hearing other people's experiences and hearing what went well for them and what didn't go well for them. And yeah, you can try to get that from like your hometown, like I try to do, but I just, there's still so much more that I learned at SSPT that I couldn't learn at home, because nobody was as open or willing to sharing all the bad stuff that was going on. Like these clinicians, these people that you're surrounded by, they want to share their experiences with you because they don't want you to have to go through the hardships that they went to get to where they are now. And that's just like such a game changer. If you are willing to learn from other people's mistakes, like you will be such a better clinician because of it. You will have like, so much more freedom in your life to do other things that you want to do, besides just trying to pay off this debt from school. You know what I mean? Like, you really just have to go and experience SSPT to figure out what it means for you. And everyone's going to take something different out of it. But for me, that was like the biggest takeaway. It's everyone coming together who are really passionate about PT, who've gotten let down with PT in some type of way, sharing their experiences and saying, please save you some time. Do not go through this. Just listen to my story and don't ever get in this situation. And I just think that that's amazing, because that's ultimately what we're doing too with this page. We're telling pre-PTs what we went through, and we're trying to make sure that they don't go through the same things. So think about that on a greater level. Think about that when you're a clinician. Like, just set yourself up from the beginning to be the best. Go to SSPT.
Go to SSPT live. And honestly, we've been talking about it a lot. But if you have not taken part in that challenge, it's something you can do in like 15 to 20 minutes. Just like if you're eating dinner, just grab your phone and just do it while you're like on your phone. Like literally, we did this to show our gratitude to US pre-PTs. Like, we know how hard you're working. We know how difficult it is to lock yourself into like a PT program. We know the ups and the downs. We know that there's a lot of things that are personal in terms of like family situations, whether it's like certain things that you're responsible. Like there's a lot of factors, but we also know what worked for us, what's working for the people that are really leading the profession right now. And honestly, in a profession where we're seeing a lot of physical therapists like getting in, and then because they didn't have a community like this, they're just like getting like 2 years in and they're talking about, I'm burnt out. Like, like that can't be the way you do your career. You can't go like 30, 40 years in a profession living that way. It's not the way to live. Like,
Right.
in terms of your passion for physical therapy, you want to maintain the feelings you have right now. That like excitement, that anxiety that you sometimes get about potentially like that love for PT should be exactly what you feel 10 years in, 20 years in, 30 years in, because you're putting yourself around people that are forcing you to grow, but also pushing yourself into the avenues that you want to be in the first place. Like, that's why we even do pre-PT grind. You know what I mean? Like, don't be mistaken. This is us taking care of you, but this is also a business too. And so this is our like part of like our like way of giving back into the profession, but doing it in a way that we love. And so that's what this does for you. But like I was saying the other night, online is cool. We'll always do online.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do live videos all day and all that stuff. The acceptance system is amazing. But when you see somebody face to face and you realize, yo,
Yeah.
all this stuff that I was talking about, that stuff is real. Like, she wasn't playing. All the stuff that Joseph was like, Joseph yells and does crazy things. Like, but that stuff is real. Like Edem,
Yeah.
like, am I like this in person? Right.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so like it doesn't change. So it's like this is all authentic, and it just like speeds up the relationship. Savannah, I look forward to seeing you there. Like, it speeds up the relationship. It speeds up your ability to just trust people and put yourself around the best. And that's what we had to do. We had to like learn to trust people. But when we saw them face to face, it changed it for us. I saw what it did for you, Edem, and the other pre-PT winners that came this year. But this coming year, we want it to be flooded with pre-PTs, like flooded. And that's why we're doing this. And I want to meet each and every one of you guys this year. Edem wants to meet y'all too. Edem will buy you lunch.
Okay. Joseph's paying for us to go to lunch. Come on.
No, I just laugh. But that's it. Edem, thank you so much for sharing your story. You're an absolute winner.
Thank you.
Like, y'all also like mad hype. Like, you're mad hype. I love it. So keep bringing on that energy. You're gonna destroy PT school.
Thank you.
You know, you already know we're here all the way through. But thank you so much for inspiring other pre-PTs to continue like fighting, even what they went through last year, which is getting rejected from every school that you apply to, and ultimately locking themselves in. It's not the end of the road. If anybody tells you you can't get in, if anybody tells you that you should pick another career path, say, I'm sorry, but that's a no for me, dog. And so that's how we have to treat this journey, because it's yours. It's yours. When all is said and done, you're going to be the one that looks back on it and says, like, did I do what I wanted to do, or did I do what other people wanted me to do? Edem, is there anything that you want to leave these winners with tonight?
I would just say that, you know, again, with people are telling you like to change major and all that stuff or anything like that, you know, if you know like deep down in your core that physical therapy is what you want to do, don't ever stop believing in yourself, because the moment you stop believing in yourself is the moment you stop like trying to go after your dream. So don't ever stop. It's going to happen. If you need a hype man, hype woman, hit me up. Like, if your story, like if my story is similar to your story and you just need someone to talk to about it that you know has gone through it, please reach out to me. Like, I'm here for you to help you just as much as the PPT grind or the acceptance system grind and the pre-doctor of physical therapy page is. Like, we're all here to help you get there. So you are not alone in this. So hit us up.
Winning words from a winning pre-PT and soon to be DPT student.
Yes, come on.
Man, but Shanahan, Carl, Darnett, Savannah, let's see who else. We had Michael, Christina, Abuele, Alexandra. We had a lot of people on here. Bet. All right, cool. So y'all have a great evening. Y'all have a phenomenal evening. Edem, thank you so much. And to everybody else.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Anytime,
good night, guys.
Anytime.
Bye.